It's rare for a rookie player to completely change the landscape of a league, but Caitlin Clark has done just that, and those who know the game best can't help but admire her. I think she's amazing, and I watched every chance I could. When some of the best basketball minds in the world start paying attention, you know you've reached a new level, and that's exactly what's happening with Caitlin Clark. After a historic rookie season in which she broke records and exceeded even the most unreasonable expectations, WNBA coaches have been lining up to give her the credit she deserves. Player to drop 25 points in a playoff game. Check out the only player in league history to lead the WNBA in both assists and three-pointers in the same season and break 62 records in 1 year. It's just another day at work for this rising superstar who is not only setting rookie or team records, but is also making a lasting impression on the league's history. I feel like I'm only scratching the surface, and I want to keep going to the gym and working on that every day. But why is Clark regarded as a once-in-a-generation talent by WNBA coaches? What does she do on the court that has seasoned strategists calling her the future of women's basketball? At the beginning of this video, you heard from Las Vegas Aces head coach Becky Hammon, who was a six-time WNBA All-Star and one of the league's greatest players before taking over as coach. Now, as the mastermind behind the two-time champion Aces and the 2022 WNBA Coach of the Year, Hammon knows a thing or two about building elite teams even before Clark. If you watch through to the end, you might hear from some unexpected coaching legends who have something to say about Caitlin Clark. Played her first professional game, Hammon saw the unique talent she was bringing to the league, and he gave her flowers. Later in the season, after seeing firsthand what the young star was doing on the court, particularly with fellow Indiana Fever cornerstone Aaliyah Boston, Hammon made it clear that the Fever were onto something special. I believe that Aaliyah and Caitlin also have an understanding that they need each other, and you know that you will both be better when the other one is better. You know, you turn into a real two-headed monster with those two, but Hammon wasn't the only one who gave Clark flowers. When Minnesota Lynx and Team USA head coach Cheryl Reeves said she didn't give a damn about Caitlin Clark's impact as the home team's coach, there will be a lot of people cheering for the opposing team. Well, that statement ages about as well as a carton of milk left out in the sun. Fast forward a season, and Reeve is singing a completely different tune now, referring to Clark as a future Hall of Famer and recognizing her indisputable influence on the WNBA. What are some things about Caitlin Clark that you find particularly noteworthy? What, in your opinion, makes her unique? I know that everyone will talk about the 3S and the logo, and you know that Steph Curry did that for the NBA because of his popularity, because of his ability to run around with a slight build and splash threes everywhere. It's exciting, so obviously this future Hall of Famer has had a great impact on the game already. What changed, though? Perhaps it was witnessing Clark break record after record, or perhaps it was seeing firsthand the impact she's had on the league's growth. In any case, the change in perspective is obvious. It's funny how reality makes people change their minds, doesn't it? As we learned in the comments section, former Connecticut Sun head coach and current Indiana Fever head coach Stephanie White also praised her at the beginning of the season, praising not only her encouraging skills, but also her role in expanding the game. She played collegiate basketball at Purdue and led them to a national championship in 1999 before joining the Indiana Fever, and White knows Indiana basketball better than most, which makes her remarks all the more meaningful. Caitlin Clark and the numerous athletes entering the WNBA are demonstrating that these endorsement deals will follow great players and great ambassadors. This partnership was truly meant to be. When I'm looking at all these things that people are talking about with Caitlin Clark, I'm thinking, guys, relax. She's going to be fine. Are you kidding me? It's only 2 games in, and she's a student of the game. She got better every year. You're not going to just absorb all of the new information that's coming at you in 2 games in 2 weeks. It takes time, and she will, I have no doubt about it. These are also points that coaches then addressed. Hey, let's keep working on this. White didn't hold back when her Connecticut Sun eliminated the Fever in the first round of the playoffs In expressing her admiration for Clark, she made it clear that Indiana, led by its youthful core, is poised to become a powerhouse for years to come. The thing that makes this Indiana team, in my opinion, enjoyable to watch for everyone is that they play with such joy, as if they're young, enjoy the game, and don't take things too seriously. There are also some positive aspects to that. Next up is Sandy Brondello, the 2014 WNBA Coach of the Year and the current head coach of the defending WNBA champions, New York Liberty. She has been involved in the game at the highest level, both as a player and a coach, and she talked about the impact of what she calls the Caitlin Clark effect is a movement that has never been seen by the league since its inception. Look, I think it's just the momentum and movement that we have right now. And, you know, Caitlin, just the impact that she's had on this city and this franchise, but also on the WNBA. And Brondello summed up Clark's game and presence in one word: fabulous. However, it wasn't just about her skills. It was also about her poise and ability to carry herself like a seasoned professional. When someone with Brondello's resume calls a rookie that polished, you know she's witnessing something special. The next player is former Dallas Wings head coach Latricia Trommel, one of the most respected leaders in the WNBA. I believe all of the players are excited about what she has brought to women's basketball. You have to give the young lady credit because she is an incredible tent, known for her grace and sportsmanship. Trammell has never hesitated to give credit where credit is due, and after watching Clark rack up a record-breaking 19 assists against the Wings last July, she couldn't help but tip her hat to the Fever star. That type of playmaking is uncommon, and Trammell is aware of it, and her words of praise confirmed how highly coaches throughout the league value Clark's ability to help her teammates. Everyone has been watching Kayan, and she's playing at a very high level, especially with her assists. She's a great player, and I don't know her personally, but she's a great player, and I have nothing but respect for her. She did her thing tonight, and the Phoenix Mercury's head coach, Nate Tibbetts, who guided Diana Taurasi's squad before she chose to retire, is also amazing. I had a front row seat to watch Clark, and his assessment is straightforward. Caitlin Clark is a walking offensive threat, especially when she's playing pick and roll. Defenders need to consider her vision, passing, and ability to read the game at an elite level. Her presence coming off pick and roll puts you in a different situation because of how far she can shoot it from. I thought we did a good job for the most part, making a couple transition threes, but she really competed on the ball after the regular season Fever swept the Mercury. Tibbetts doubled down on his praise, praising both Clark and her backcourt partner, Kelsey Mitchell. It wasn't just about the numbers. It was about how Clark manages the game's pace, sets up her teammates, and makes every possession dangerous for opposing defenses. She was getting open, of course, and Kelsey killed it. I'm not sure how she was getting open, but we'll have to examine that. Now, let's talk about one of Clark's biggest critics, Sheryl Swoopes. Although Swoopes has remained one of her most outspoken critics, her former teammate and WNBA legend Cynthia Cooper has taken the opposite position. Cooper, the league's first ever WNBA MVP and a former head coach, didn't mince words when discussing Clark's. When a basketball mind as sharp as Cooper's recognizes the greatness of Caitlin Clark, you know it's the real deal. I'm sitting there thinking, oh my God, she's so crafty. This is what people don't know about Caitlin. She's not just a three-point shooter. She's a great passer, not a shooter. I wish you knew Caitlin Clark had that experience this year because she's our future. But she didn't just stop there. Cooper went into detail about what makes Clark so special. She is a great passer, not just a mediocre one. Cooper went one step further and publicly declared that having Caitlin Clark on Team USA would benefit not only the team, but the entire nation and the sport of basketball in general. That is not just a compliment. It is the final confirmation of all the arguments about whether Clark should be on the Olympic roster. One of the greatest basketball players and coaches in WNBA history made it very clear that Caitlin Clark is not only deserving, but also exactly what the game needs. Any USA basketball experience for someone as young as Caitlin Clark will benefit America for years and years and years and years. So yes, I would put her The former Atlanta Dream head coach Tanisha Wright didn't hold back when asked about Caitlin Clark's impact. She acknowledged that many people have come to realize that the Caitlin Clark effect is real and that you don't have to be an Indiana Fever fan to appreciate it. Wright acknowledged that facing Clark wasn't just about game planning for an elite scorer, but also about